everyone. Hello, authors. I'm Melody Ann, book coach and founder of Author Nation, and I'm here to document my journey to publishing my memoir because I have been holding it back for too long, and I want to live a life with. I don't want to live a life with. I wish I had, and so I've decided I want to publish the memoir, and that's what I'm going to do. This is week 8, and I am waiting for feedback from my beta readers. And while I'm doing that, I decided the task this week would be to revisit my marketing plan and take a look at that and maybe add something to it. So let's start with beta readers. I sent my book out to beta readers with much trepidation. I was kind of worried about it, like, oh, what are they going to think? But I've had some feedback, and so I wanted to share it with you. One beta reader has actually read the entire book already. It's not a challenging read, and she agreed with me that it's probably a good YA book. That's what I've always been thinking, because it's really meant for people that age who have been through, struggles with a dysfunctional family, and they're looking for ways to move out and forward from that. She seemed to like it, and she gave me some great feedback. Another beta reader started doing a stylistic edit. Wow, that is a lot of work, so that's very generous. He did a few pages, and then he sent it back to me and said, is this what you want? What do you think of this? And I just said, wow, thank you for doing this. This is great. He's not necessarily he's not like my ideal reader. He's not on that, like the younger kind of reader. But he is a writer and he does edit. And so he's giving me a different perspective, which is amazing. Now we're doing an exchange. So when you do beta reading, sometimes you do an exchange. So I've been looking at his story. So I spent Sunday morning reading through a lot of his material and giving him feedback on that. And he liked it. He's going to send me more stuff, and he's going to do more editing for me. And so it's really great. It's been a wonderful exchange. And then another beta reader, I sent everything off, and they got an email back, and he said, this timeline is too tight for me. Can I suggest a different timeline? So he gave me a deadline that was a week or two beyond what I'd written. And so when I sent everything out to beta readers, I gave like a really short 2-week timeline. And I did that on purpose, not because, it has to be done in that time per se. But I want a couple things. I want some forward movement. I don't want to feel like, oh, I need to be working on something or get stagnant with it. And 2, if you don't give a deadline, people don't know when you want it back. And so I thought, well, I'll give a deadline. And then I made a note saying, if this deadline just really doesn't work for you, if this is something, if you're too busy and you need more time, just email me back and let me know. And that's what he did. He emailed me back and he gave me an alternative deadline that would work better for him. And I said, yes, thank you very much. That's fabulous. So that done, I wanted to do some promotion research and where to start. And I have this long list. I have this Word document, this long list of ideas. And I didn't really know where to start. And I thought, well, maybe I'll organize it, but I didn't really want to do that. So I just picked something. I kind of scanned through it. I picked something and I'm like, I'm just going to look at that. What did I start with? Facebook groups. So I joined a few Facebook groups for memoirs. I joined We Love Memoirs. It is run by Victoria Tweed, who is a New York Times bestseller and a Wall Street bestseller as well. She's a prolific writer. She is one of the admins. There are several admins. So I actually joined it quite a while ago, thinking I'd write my memoir way back when, but I didn't do that. And so it's been there, but I haven't really been paying enough attention to it, even though I also love reading memoirs. It's just not somewhere I went. So I kind of reestablished myself. I read over the rules again, so I know what to do and what not to do. The group has a strict no promotion rule, which doesn't mean that there's absolutely no way to promote your book to the readers. But this is We Love Memoirs is actually a group for readers, not for authors. So it's for people who love to read memoirs. And people who love to read memoirs don't want memoir authors coming in and just read my book, read my book, read my book, read my book. So they have a system and how they have they know they can explain to you exactly how they've decided this works. So I've read through all of that. And I sent a message to the admins just asking some questions, things about this and that. And then Victoria Tweed also has a book on her website called How to Write a Best-Selling Memoir. So I downloaded that as well. I think the group is very generous. I think I'll really enjoy being part of this group. And so from now on, I'm going to make an effort to pop in, see what's going on, post and respond, and just, have fun with it. We love memoirs. That was the first group. The second group was, we love biographies and memoirs. That was it. We love biographies and memoirs. Now I joined that group and they let me in right away, and I poked around a little bit, and they didn't seem to have a lot of rules, or they didn't have like a page with rules. Like some Facebook groups have pages with rules. They didn't. So I'm going to start doing some listening. I'll do listening before I post. I'll see like who's posting, what people are posting, what kind of comments they're getting, what the expectations are, what people like and don't like. I want to get a feel for the group to see if it's the right fit for me and if it's really what I'm looking for. So that's the second group. And then the third group I asked to join was called the National Association of Memoir Writers. And it's so it's actually an association, but I think the Facebook group is not directly associated. I think somebody in the association decided to start a Facebook group. So it's kind of a loosely associated. So I decided after I joined that and looked around there that I would go look at the association as well. And so joining the association might be a good idea as well. I looked at I signed up for their newsletter. I looked at what their offerings were about. They actually have a workshop coming up that I thought looked really great. It's a workshop analyzing a book called Heavy. And I think what they're doing is they're analyzing it and deciding why it's become a best-selling memoir. One thing I've always said is if you want to sell a lot of books, if you want to be a bestseller and get lots of recognition or any of these things, you have to really start with a solid book. And so I think that's what they're going to talk about, like what's really in the book, like what the author did to make that a book that everyone wants to read. So I may check out that workshop, but I haven't read the book yet. So I'm going to go get the book and I'm going to read the book. And then I will go back to the workshops and check that out. But I'm on their news email list now, so I'll be getting the emails either way. So those were 3 Facebook groups that I checked out. And then I also decided I want to check out Story Origin. If you are an author and you have never checked out Story Origin, you should. They're really great. There's so many things you can do. Review. You can send out review copies. You can offer reader magnets. You can offer downloads of your book. They have like a universal retail link. So one link that you can put on your website that will go to wherever that reader likes to buy their books, because we have these things called cookies, right? And we cache information. So they'll check that out and send them to the right place. They also have really wonderful opportunities for cross-promotion, switching e-newsletters with other authors. Lots and lots of value for $100 a year. $100 a year, like $10 a month or $100 a year. That's a lot. So it's excellent value. So I thought about joining, and then I thought, okay, wait, slow down. Instead of jumping in, I looked around at what they need and what I could do, and what I thought about what I really need before I start leaping into things like Goodreads and Amazon and Story Origin and BookFunnel and all these awesome places. So what I decided was I really need to work on my author profile. So, find a headshot, write a bio, just kind of working on those basics. Maybe a first run at a good description of the book. So really work on my author profile and put my book on my website, because it's not on my website yet. And so this week I thought, I'll update my marketing plan, or I'll figure out what's next in that. Maybe I'll organize it. And, looking through the big list, it was kind of like, I felt like I was, going to be faffing around. But then I decided, instead of faffing around and feeling unfocused and getting nothing done, just grab something. Who cares? Where do you start? It doesn't matter where you start. Just start. So that's what I did. I just started. And that faffing around gave me some insights on what to do next. And so the lesson is, if you don't know where to start, just jump in, just start. And so what am I going to do this coming week? I'm going to work on my author profile. And that also means finding other author profiles I love and figuring out why I love them, and then working on my own. And I'm going to add my book to my website. I think that is plenty for this, this 1 week. And if you're working on your book, I'd love to hear what you're working on and how it's going and what you have found useful or not useful. And I will let you know how my week goes, and I will see you